Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. My name is Ellen, and today I will be hosting a quiz with 100 questions on general knowledge. So let's get started with question number 1. Which of the following series is not a Looney Tunes spin-off? Duck Dodgers, Animaniacs, or Tiny Toon Adventures? Animaniacs. Which of the following dances is associated with the composer Jacques Offenbach? Can-can, waltz, or salsa? Can-can. When did Dadaism become a prominent art movement in Europe? After World War II, after the Cold War, or after World War I? After World War I. What series of treaties ended the 30 Years' War in 1648? The Camp David Accords, the Peace Treaty of Westphalia, or the Unequal Treaties? The Peace Treaty of Westphalia. What term describes a word that is read the same way forward and backwards? Palindrome, immordnilap, or continuity? Palindrome. Which automobile corporation is the parent company of Lexus? Volkswagen, Ford, or Toyota? Toyota. What kind of food process requires rennet? Wine fermentation, pickling, or cheese making? Cheese making. Which 1960s cartoon character was designed as a parody of Tarzan? George of the Jungle, Secret Squirrel, or Magilla Gorilla? George of the Jungle. What ancient setting is the origin of the phrase Deus ex machina? Greek theater, Roman gladiator pits, or Egyptian pyramids? Greek theater. Who became the first Holy Roman Emperor in 800 CE? Louis I, Charlemagne, or Frederick I? Charlemagne. What was special about the 1959 marriage of Crown Prince Akihito of Japan? He chose his own wife, the public voted on who he would marry, or his wife was not Japanese? He chose his own wife. Which Patti LaBelle song is featured in the musical Moulin Rouge? If Only You Knew, On My Own, or Lady Marmalade? Lady Marmalade. What is the largest bony fish in the ocean? Mahi-mahi, marlin, or sunfish? Sunfish. Which Spanish surrealist painted Dog Barking at the Moon and Harlequin's Carnival? Salvador Dali, Pablo Picasso, or Joan Miró? Joan Miró. What were the first and middle names of American entrepreneur and finance mogul J.P. Morgan? John Pierpont, James Phillip, or Jeremy Paul? John Pierpont. What is the English translation of the Latin phrase carpe diem? Fisherman, good faith, or seize the day? Seize the day. What term is often used to describe French Creole-speaking people in the rural areas of Louisiana in the U.S.? Acadian, Cajun, or Quebecois? Cajun. Which 1920s American gangster was also known as Scarface? Charles Luciano, Al Capone, or George Nelson? Al Capone. Who plays Thor in all media related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, or Chris Pine? Chris Hemsworth. What action is described by the word defenestration? Rebuilding a broken fence, throwing something out of a window, or overthrowing government? Throwing something out of a window. What sport was invented by the Englishman Alan Blake in 1954? Bocce, underwater hockey, or Quidditch? Underwater hockey. Which country's folklore includes 13 Yule lads that leave presents in children's shoes? Switzerland, Denmark, or Iceland? Iceland. Who is Charlie Brown's best friend in the Peanuts comics? Peppermint Patty, Linus, or Shermie? Linus. According to legend, Glenn Seaborg proposed what two-letter atomic symbol for plutonium as a joke about how bad it would smell? YK, PU, or EU? EW? PU. What was the birth name of the British author George Orwell? Eric Blair, Samuel Clemens, or Theodore Geisel? Eric Blair. What toxic protein derived from Clostridia bacteria is commonly used to treat facial wrinkles and minor muscular disorders? Prions, creatine, or botulinum toxin? Botulinum toxin. What painting gained worldwide recognition after an Italian handyman stole it from the Louvre in 1911? The Mona Lisa, The Birth of Venus, or Girl with a Pearl Earring? The Mona Lisa. Which founding father was the first Postmaster General of the United States? Alexander Hamilton, Benjamin Franklin, or Thomas Jefferson? Benjamin Franklin. What is the name of the house band on The Muppet Show? American Animal Clash, The Roots, or The Electric Mayhem? The Electric Mayhem. Which biblical figure was adopted by an Egyptian princess after she found him floating in the Nile River? Noah, Abraham, or Moses? Moses. Which Caribbean island has 3 counties? Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. Cuba, Bermuda, or Jamaica? Jamaica. What British blues musician and Blues Breakers leader is often credited with discovering many other musicians, including Mick Taylor and Eric Clapton? John Mayall, Mick Jagger, or John McVie? John Mayall. What word describes the technique that Renaissance artists used to create soft, hazy outlines? Perspective, chiaroscuro, or sfumato? Sfumato. What regal title was held by numerous women, including Nephhotep, Merneptah, Sobek, Neferu, and Hatshepsut? Pharaoh, Emperor, or Czar? Pharaoh. Which Mexican state is home to the Temple of the Inscriptions in Palenque? Chihuahua, Chiapas, or Colima? Chiapas. Which businessman led the group that overthrew Hawaii's government and seized land in 1893? J.P. Morgan, Sanford B. Dole, or Andrew Carnegie? Sanford B. Dole. What word describes curved, often stationary clouds which are typically found near mountains and can be present for long periods of time? Lenticular, cumulonimbus, or mammatus? Lenticular. What is the name of the Brazilian religion that combines Catholicism with Yoruba religious traditions? Santeria, Candomblé, or Vodou? Candomblé. Which U.S. national park features natural attractions like Courthouse Towers, Dark Angel, and the Three Gossips? Glacier, Yosemite, or Arches? Arches. What does the acronym SWAT stand for? Strategic War Attack Team, Strategy, Weapons, and Armed Tactics, or Special Weapons and Tactics? Special Weapons and Tactics. What did wealthy people place in a surprise pie in 16th century England? Live animals, firecrackers, or chocolate coins? Live animals. What distinguished the leading duck in the children's song Six Little Ducks? A feather on her back, a crown on her head, or a ring on her wing? A feather on her back. Which term describes a volcano that has not erupted for a long time? Sleepy, inactive, or dormant? Dormant. Which HBO series earned Julia Louis-Dreyfus 6 consecutive Emmys? Chernobyl, Veep, or Game of Thrones? Veep. What do birds use their oropharyngeal glands for? Preening feathers, laying eggs, or digesting food? Preening feathers. Which sitcom follows Michael Bluth as he tries to run his eccentric family's real estate business? Arrested Development, The Office, or Family Guy? Arrested Development. What cow breed is most commonly used in industrial dairy farms? Hereford, Holstein, or Red Angus? Holstein. Which major credit card network bought Diners Club International in 2008? American Express, Discover, or MasterCard? Discover. What is the name of the monocle-wearing mascot of the New Yorker? Mr. Monopoly, Dandy McPosh, or Eustace Tilley? Eustace Tilley. Which verb also acts as the term for a group of hippos? Swell, bloat, or gorge? Bloat. What English city is considered the origin of Lady Godiva's horse ride legend? Coventry, Liverpool, or Bath? Coventry. Who was the first Jewish justice in the U.S. Supreme Court? Levi Woodbury, Samuel Nelson, or Louis Brandeis? Louis Brandeis. Which religious title comes from the Latin word for substitute? Priest, cardinal, or vicar? Vicar. Who was on the cover of People magazine when it debuted in 1974? Gloria Vanderbilt, Mia Farrow, or Carol Burnett? Mia Farrow. Which southwestern U.S. national park is completely surrounded by a missile range? Carlsbad Caverns, Saguaro, or White Sands? White Sands. Which Oscar-winning film stars Roberto Benigni as a Jewish waiter who uses humor and imagination to protect his son from the horrors of the Holocaust? Life is Beautiful, Schindler's List, or The Pianist? Life is Beautiful. What does lepidopterist study? Leopards, butterflies, or sharks? Butterflies. Which metallic element was originally called quicksilver? Zinc, mercury, or titanium? Mercury. Which country singer is a single mom who works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never stops in her hit song, I'm a Survivor? Reba McEntire, Dolly Parton, or Miranda Lambert? Reba McEntire. What is the main difference between a quiche and a frittata? Frittatas are made with eggs. A quiche has a crust, or quiches are served cold. A quiche has a crust. What species of penguin is named for the narrow black band under its head? Humboldt penguin, chinstrap penguin, or Adelie penguin? Chinstrap penguin. What fastener did George de Mestral invent after he saw how burrs stuck to his dog's fur? Zipper, toggles, or Velcro? Velcro. Where did a team of scientists find a shape-shifting alien in The Thing? Siberia, Antarctica, or Alaska? Antarctica. Who was the last Shah of Iran, a monarch forced into exile in 1979 after a tumultuous reign and a religious coup? Muzaffar Adi Shah, Mohammad Reza Shah, or Fatih Ali Shah? Mohammad Reza Shah. Which city has hosted the Australian Open every year since 1972? Sydney, Perth, or Melbourne? Melbourne. Which electronic is also known as an etherophone? Theremin, Ondes Martimonot, or Novacord? Theremin. What part of an engine seals the combustion area to allow oil and coolant to circulate properly? Head gasket, piston, or camshaft? Head gasket. What is the longest and heaviest bone in the human body? The humerus, the malleus, or the femur? The femur. Which architect designed the iconic Duomo di Firenze, formerly known as the Cathedral of St. Mary of the Flower? Michelotto, Aldo Rossi, or Filippo Brunelleschi? Filippo Brunelleschi. What term describes a pilot who travels to give stunt flying exhibitions? Barnstormer, daredevil, or cloud runner? Barnstormer. What branch of Islam is associated with the whirling dervishes? Sunni, Shia, or Sufi? The Sufi. What alphanumeric phrase described the fear of electronics failing on January 1st, 2000? Y2K, A2Z, or C2C? Y2K. Which of the following measures the representation of women in fictional works? Bechdel test, discrimination test, or ratio test? Bechdel test. Which American politician was represented by the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz? William McKinley, William Jennings Bryan, or Theodore Roosevelt? William Jennings Bryan. What American sculptor is known for his work with mobiles that move to enhance their aesthetic and stables that stand still? Jean Arp, Andy Warhol, or Alexander Calder? Alexander Calder. Which British explorer won a Copley Medal in 1776 for writing a paper about how he prevented scurvy by feeding his crew orange extract? John Rolfe, Henry Hudson, or James Cook? James Cook. According to legend, what destiny belonged to the knight who sat in the Siege Perilous at King Arthur's table? He would be eaten by a dragon, he would find the Holy Grail, or he would wield Excalibur? He would find the Holy Grail. Which constellation is also known as the Big Dipper? Orion, Ursa Major, or Aquarius? Ursa Major. What ancient Greek scholar is considered the father of history? Plato, Ptolemy, or Herodotus? Herodotus. Which Roman emperor allegedly played the fiddle while Rome burned in 64 CE? Nero, Caligula, or Augustus Caesar? Nero. Which man explored parts of the Western Hemisphere and ultimately proved that Columbus did not land in India? Amerigo Vespucci, James Cook, or Ponce de Leon? Amerigo Vespucci. What word can describe a mythological monster or an organism with two distinct sets of DNA? Minotaur, chimera, or basilisk? Chimera or chimera. Which man became the president of Venezuela in March 2013 and gained long-lasting power through his supporters in the United Socialist Party? Nicolas Maduro, Hugo Chavez, or Manuel Rosales? Nicolas Maduro. What tight-fitting athletic garment was named after a French aerialist? Leotard, leggings, or Speedo? Leotard. What makes T20 radically different from traditional cricket? There are no wickets, there are 20 players on each team, or each inning is restricted to 20 overs. Each inning is restricted to 20 overs. What kind of pet belongs to the genus Pogona? Ferret, bearded dragon lizard, or hedgehog? Bearded dragon lizard. Which author had to interrupt his work on Catcher in the Rye to fight in Normandy on D-Day? John Steinbeck, James Baldwin, or J.D. Salinger? J.D. Salinger. Why did the artist Caravaggio leave Rome and move to Malta in 1606? The Catholic Church did not like his work, his patron moved to Malta, or he was wanted for murder. He was wanted for murder. How long did Alex Trebek host Jeopardy, America's most popular quiz show? 23 years, 37 years, or 50 years? $37 years. What popular vacation area in Australia stretches from Paradise Point to Coolangatta? Great Barrier Reef, Gold Coast, or Great Victoria Desert? The Gold Coast. Which British philosopher led the initiative to translate the Bible into English in the late 14th century? John Wycliffe, John Locke, or John Stuart Mill? John Wycliffe. Which 14-letter word describes a sequence of strange images that could be seen in a dream or hallucination? Intelligentsia, phantasmagoria, or verisimilitude? Verisimilitude. Phantasmagoria. Which organ was successfully transplanted into Richard Herrick for the first time in 1954? The heart, the kidney, or the lung? Kidney. Which economist wrote The Wealth of Nations, a foundational text in the study of economics and political economy? John Maynard Keynes, Milton Friedman, or Adam Smith? Adam Smith. What song was recorded on January 28, 1985, which has been dubbed the greatest night in pop? We Are the World, We Will Rock You, or We Didn't Start the Fire? We Are the World. What is the last name of Woody, the cowboy from Toy Story? Justice, Courage, or Pride? Pride. Which Broadway musical features a mysterious man in a mask that only covers half of his face? Wicked, Les Miserables, or The Phantom of the Opera? The Phantom of the Opera. What restaurant chain is known for filling their walls and side rooms with music memorabilia? Rainforest Cafe, Hard Rock Cafe, or Johnny Rockets? Hard Rock Cafe. Which Norse deity gave birth to Sleipnir, a white eight-legged horse that Odin rides in battle? Loki, Freya, or Sif? Loki. And our last question. Which British royal house did not fight in the War of the Roses? Tudor, Stuart, or York? Stuart. And our bonus question, how many Emirates are in the UAE? Let us know the answer in the comments and of course how you did. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you next time.